Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday to you, August 4th, 2025. I got all your stories for your rush hour ride home. We're going to be discussing a lot here. More on Blake Lively's deposition. That'll be our featured story of the day. I'm going to give my quick thoughts on the season 3 of Perfect Match, starring our favorite bachelor, Clayton Echard, and then Sydney Sweeney. I've avoided covering this cultural moment because it's pure culture war BS, but now that the president has commented on Sydney Sweeney, we'll discuss that. And yeah, the Blake's deposition is getting interested as Blake Lively's side now wants the whole deposition struck from the records. I believe that's what they're asking for. So that cannot be a good thing. And then we'll get into the redistricting battle happening in Texas, which now is going to happen in New York or California. F around and find out. We'll get into that. And it looks like the federal government is trying to ban protests now. Yeah, that's right. They're going to try to take aid away from states that allow peaceful protesting. What a wild time to be alive. All these stories and more starts right now on The Rush. So again, big thanks to everyone who's been donating to our teacher wish list. Ruby is our afternoon teacher today from Tucson, Arizona. Says, I'm a preschool teacher and I feel the biggest challenge is the uncertainty the Trump administration has caused in education and the safety of our members of our low-income community. Link in the description if you want to donate to her teacher wish list. And I mean, can you be wrong with that logic? They've gotten rid of the Department of Education. And I personally know plenty of people, actually a good handful of people that have been fired in part because of the defunding of some of these programs. How about this story? Sea troll versus bear. You're not going to believe this. This feels like a sketch comedy, but it's a real story. Have a listen.
Close call between a sea troll and a grizzly bear. Shockingly, this is not a joke, and it's actually kind of terrifying. So the sea troll is named Bowie, and he's the mascot for the Seattle Kraken hockey team. The team was fly fishing in Canada for a community outreach program when, look at that, a grizzly bear crashes the party, at one point charging Bowie. Now, one player blamed Bowie, saying the bear was very interested in his whole look.
Yeah, this bear probably just wanted to make friends. Now, if you're listening to the audio only, I'll describe this. We're talking about a sea troll, a mascot, a person in it. No, mascots aren't real. I mean, he's a real person. It's just not a real sea troll. And a bear charges it also that they could get some stupid shot of them fly fishing in Seattle. I'm telling you right now, that mascot does not get paid enough money for kids to be poking and prodding at it, never mind to have a bear charge it. Well, we've covered Sha'Carri Richardson a good amount in the past. She's one of the fastest women in the world. And now her boyfriend, Christian Coleman, is defending her following her DV arrest. So I don't know the sort of details of the arrest, but here's what he had to say.
Personally, I feel like it was just a sucky situation all around. Like, I don't feel as if, like, she should have been arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, people have discussions and emotions and stuff like that. And she have, like, things that she needs to work on for herself, of course. And so do I, so do you.
So her boyfriend says she's got things she needs to work on. Well, apparently it's keeping her hands to herself. I don't know the full story. I haven't seen body cam footage or surveillance, so I'm not going to comment on exactly what the DV arrest entailed. But I'm guessing there was a pretty high threshold for them to arrest her and put her in jail. And again, she's had her fair share of troubles. But again, we'll give updates as they come to that story. Wanted to cover Donald Trump. He doubles down on Sydney Sweeney's support, slams Taylor Swift as woke. He somehow took a chance to take a shot at Taylor Swift. I have really avoided covering this story because it's pure culture war bait. Right, this idea that there was some smear campaign or a campaign of people angry at American Eagle because of a genes, basically pun. They said Sydney Sweeney has good genes. Now people said, oh, it's eugenics. You're trying to make it seem like you have to be blonde and blue-eyed in order to sell jeans. And honestly, it was a leap. Here's what American Eagle had to say. Sydney Sweeney has great genes, as in always was about the genes. Her genes, her story will continue to celebrate how everyone wears their AA jeans. With confidence, their way, great genes look good on everyone. Now, everyone from Billy Bush to some of my favorite news programs reported on this. I'm sorry, I just think in a world with 300 million people in our country, plus, there's always going to be folks that are offended by certain things. Someone said, I'm so tired of everyone being offended by everything. The truth is, everyone isn't offended by everything. It's just the way the algorithm works. The way the algorithm works is if you're a corporation and you do something that's unbecoming, you might have 10,000 people upset about you. They weren't buying your jeans. They don't really care. It's the outrage culture. It's not a real issue. Period. Done. End of story. Except Donald Trump then found out, as it went viral, that Sydney Sweeney is registered Republican. I personally could care less about celebrities and how they're registering and things like that. I could care less. She can do what she wants with her platform. But here's what Trump had to say. You found out Sydney Sweeney, he found out she's on his team. He likes her very much.
For Sydney Sweeney, it came out this weekend that she was a registered Republican. Any thoughts on that?
That who was?
Sydney Sweeney. She's like a very hot actress right now.
She's a registered Republican?
The reporter goes, she's a hot actress right now. Of all of the questions you can ask Donald Trump about the crumbling of democracy, some of the corruption issues, the Epstein files, but we really want to know about that hot actress.
Oh, now I love her ad. Is that right? Is Sydney Sweeney? You'd be surprised at how many people are Republicans. That's what I wouldn't have known, but I'm glad you told me that. If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic. Okay.
I think her ad, she's got a tremendous set of ads on her, I'll tell you that much. Listen, I don't care what Donald Trump thinks of Sydney Sweeney. I just love the honesty that he has about you're either on my side or you're not. Now, I don't like this as far as a president's concerned, but I do appreciate that you kind of know what you get. You either side with him or you don't. You Sydney Sweeney, if you don't like Trump, you're fired. You like us, you're hired. We're going to have you in the Department of Denim. There's a new department in the cabinet, the Department of Denim. So he says that, and then he doubles down. He spells her name wrong. Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, has the hottest ad out there. It's for American Eagle, and the jeans are flying off the shelves. Go get them, Sydney. On the other side of the ledger, Jaguar did a stupid and serious woke advertisement that is a disaster. Look, again, I've said this all the way from Bud Light to everything in between. Companies are pretty much for the most part psychopathic in that they're going to sell to as many people as they can and increase their profits as they can. And if they think someone is good for business, then that's what they'll do. Now, Sydney Sweeney, of course, was canceled by this woke media. No one really cared. And the shares for American Eagle went up by like several $100 million following the ad because Sydney Sweeney is a megastar. I mean, she's a mega star. Here's her ad right here. She's, in it. Think what you want about American Eagle. What a comeback they've made, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't care, but there's your update from me. Now, we're going to get into the other blonde hot actress, Blake Lively. And I wanted to share Leanne Newton, our good pal from across the pond in England. Here's what she had to say. Blake Lively files a motion to strike Fritz's letter. If you didn't check out this morning's episode, we discussed Fritz in the letter he wrote, talking about wanting to quash Blake Lively's subpoena. In that letter from Fritz, they mentioned the deposition, and they mentioned that Brian Friedman deposed Blake Lively, and they mentioned that Blake Lively admitted that the only smear campaign is the retaliatory campaign by Justin Baldoni's side, which isn't a smear campaign. It's just them playing defense. It's them playing defense, right? Well, now Blake Lively confirms she is asking the judge to strike the letter and the attached transcript of her deposition and deny the letter to seal as moot. What they're saying over here on the subreddits is Ezra went overboard. That's Blake Lively's attorney. Rather than ask the court to continue sealing the transcript, she asked the court to strike both the letter and the transcript from the record. In short, according to information and belief, that deposition did not go well for Blake at all. Now, we don't have any personal information that it didn't go well, although, like I said before, I've got several 1 degrees of separation to old, this whole I was just in the hallway of the deposition, put it that way. I was in the waiting room of the deposition. So did I walk by and listen to it, metaphorically speaking? Maybe. We'll see if we can trickle any information in. But I did want to share this letter from Blake Lively's side. Dear Judge, pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure and the court's inherent power, Ms. Lively respectfully moves to strike the Wayfarer defendant's letter attaching the entire uncertified rough draft transcript of Ms. Lively's confidential July 31st deposition testimony and to deny the letter motion to seal as moot. Now, I am not a lawyer. I don't know if you knew that, judging by my hair and not wearing a bow tie. I'm not a lawyer. Because I think if you are a lawyer, you do have to wear a bow tie regardless of gender. You have to go to sleep in a bow tie and wake up in a bow tie. Very Tucker Carlson, legal outfits there. But an American Eagle denim, you get the point. But I wonder, is it normal to attach the transcript of the deposition. Like, we knew the deposition was going to come out, and they want to attach it, even though it would be redacted, to, you file something, and if you cite something, like they cited the deposition, they want to attach it. So Blake Lively's side is saying, no, we do not want this out there. The letter and attachment should be seen for what they are: a manufactured excuse to force the transcript into the public domain as fodder for the Wayfair defendants' media campaign. Is it fodder? I don't know, but I want to see it. I really want to see it now. I wanted to see it before, and could you imagine if I got a copy of the deposition and put it on patreon.com/Dave Neal? We would really be boosting those numbers. Miss Lively's motion to strike counsel's inflammatory letter because the sole purpose of the letter was to promote public scandal. Well, did Blake Lively say anything that was scandalous in the deposition? It appears so. Consistent with their goal of creating a media circus around Miss Lively's depo, it also appears that the Wayfair defendants immediately leaked details from the deposition to the tabloid media. I didn't see any leaking, did you guys? This began by selectively sharing from a source in the room that Mr. Baldoni was in attendance, apparently to advance a storyline that the deposition was a face-to-face showdown between Mr. Baldoni and Miss Lively. The next day, more leaks from a source close to the deposition described in detail Miss Lively's attire for the deposition, also revealing those who accompanied her, mocked Miss Lively's legal team, and then discussed extensively the Wayfair defendants' themes from their now dismissed case. The narrative created was that Miss Lively needed a large contingent of people with her to testify, while misleadingly suggesting that only Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Friedman were present for the deposition on their side. The reality is that Miss Lively testified across the table from Mr. Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, Melissa Nathan, and Jennifer Abel, all of whom attended this deposition in person, as well as 8 attorneys representing the Wayfair and Wallace parties, 2 of them questioning her. Oh my gosh, Blake Lively's side is really filling in the gaps here. So this is fascinating. Again, yes, there were leaks about what Blake Lively was wearing. There were leaks about certain things, but you have to imagine, I'm sure the law firm that Blake Lively was at has dozens, if not hundreds of people working at it. You're telling me no one in the waiting room saw this? Now, I'm assuming Blake Lively's team was able to drive into an undisclosed entrance and take a private elevator up, so there was no paparazzi or anything like that. But again, I don't think there really has been too much. There's been no substance that has been leaked, at least. I mean, people want to know, what was Blake Lively wearing? They want to see it on their like to know it pages, Maybe she had a nice scarf on they wanted to check out. But by the way, how cramped was the room? I hope they had good air filters in there. It sounds like a COVID sort of outbreak happening. 25 people in a room breathing on top of each other. I hope they had good lighting. You want to make sure the lighting's good when you film these depositions. Filing the uncertified rough draft of the deposition transcript when it serves no legitimate litigation purpose is disrespectful to the types of allegations at issue here and to the litigation process. It harms harassment and retaliation victims, like Miss Lively, who already bear physical and mental health consequences from the underlying incidents and are forced to repeatedly relive the trauma through litigation, including court filings, depositions, and court testimony. And in this case, also through seeded press and social media gossip and scrutiny about her confidential testimony, thanks to the Wayfair defendants. Such tactics also have an untold chilling effect that serves to silence other harassment victims. So, again, they continue to frame this as retaliatory from Justin Baldoni's side. Literally, all they asked for was a motion to quash. They really didn't. I mean, they didn't share much. I don't know. Am I missing something here? Let me know, you guys. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you this morning, but we ran out of time. Here's the BBC talking to Crisis PR Molly McPherson about the Justin Baldoni lawsuit and how Blake Lively has lost the plot. Let's have a listen to what she had to say.
Now I want to talk about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Blake is suing Justin and other companies and people involved in making of the film for sexual harassment, retaliation, breach of contract, and defamation. We asked Justin Baldoni for a response, and Baldoni's legal team told the BBC at the time the allegations were categorically false. He also sued Blake for defamation, but this was thrown out. But part of this lawsuit, outside of the sexual harassment element, is this allegation of untraceable, basically reputational damage being done. Molly, Blake is alleging that she was a victim of astroturfing and an untraceable smear campaign. What actually is astroturfing?
Astroturfing is not typically used in the celebrity realm. It's in the issues management realm. So if you were to think of renewable energy, for instance, versus coal, They want to, blanket out, carpet out a type of issue to get out there, from a lobbying perspective. You don't find it in the celebrity realm. This case has been so incredibly damaging for Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds. It is a case of two people who will not stop digging.
And there it is. They will not stop digging. That really didn't dig that background music. What is it with corporate media thinking they need background music on everything? Either way, those are your pop culture updates. Coming up next, we've got a crazy story as Texas is trying to cheat in the next election. They're saying it out loud. Now we've got New York and California saying, you guys want to cheat? We're going to cheat too. We're going to do this whole redistricting thing. And then we got people crying that California is going to cheat. It's like F around and find out. That story coming next.